Hi, my name is Diane Schuster, and you're watching one of a series of videos that demonstrate the capabilities of COZYROC SSIS Plus, which is a software suite of tasks and components for SQL Server integration services. These demonstrations were built using SQL Server Integration Services 2005. The COZYROC tasks and components are available for SQL Server Integration Services 2005, 2008, 2008 R2, 2012, and 2014 in both 32-bit and 64-bit editions. For more information, please visit www.cozyroc.com. In this video, we're going to talk about the Salesforce Destination Component, which you can use to integrate or migrate data to the Salesforce service. This component comes in a package of tasks and components called SSIS Plus that complements the standard SSIS. In COZYROC's SSIS Plus product, we provide source and destination components for Salesforce, which support both 32-bit and 64-bit modes. In this demonstration, I'm going to show you how easy it is to create some accounts in the Salesforce service. Then I'll show you how easy it is to update the accounts in Salesforce. In this demonstration, the source of the data will be an Excel file to make it super simple. Before I start showing you how to configure things, I wanted to show you the data that's in our Excel file that we'll be using to create the new accounts in Salesforce. And there's 6 columns here, and one of them is called Owner ID, and that's what's known as a relationship. And that refers to a user account that already exists in Salesforce. The first thing we need to do is to add our Salesforce destination to the toolbox. So we right mouse click and we go to Choose Items. And we go to SSIS Data Flow Items. And we scroll down to find the Salesforce Destination Component. And there it is. We check in the checkbox and we click OK. And now you can see our Salesforce destination. And now we'll create the connection manager. So we go to New Connection. And we scroll down until we find SForce, and we choose that. Now we type in our credentials. We'll test the connection, and it's good, so we click OK. Now we'll drag our Salesforce destination component onto the canvas, and we'll feed in the input from the Excel Source Plus component. And we'll go in and configure it, and we're going to select the connection manager that we just set up. And now we go to Component Properties. And the default action is Create, which is what we're going to use, but you can see here are the other options. And then our destination object will be the account object. And now I just want to show you what other options are available for the mode. If you choose the regular setting for modes, the maximum number of records you can send to the service in one call is 200. The benefit, though, is that you can get back the record identifiers that were created by Salesforce. If you use bulk load, you can send 10,000 records or more in one call to the service. But because the records are sent queued for processing, the component can't provide back the identifiers of the created records. We're going to leave it as regular. And now we'll go look at the column mappings. And everything has been mapped based on the name. Here I'll scroll down so that you can see the mappings. And we do want to set it up so that we get the information about the IDs that were created by Salesforce when we create these accounts. And so we actually use the error output as our method to get that information. And now we're going to use the Excel Destination Plus component from COZYROC to receive that information. So we connect the red arrow from the Salesforce Destination component. And now we go in and select the connection manager, which will be the same as the one we used for the Excel source. We just choose a different worksheet within that Excel file, which is called Error Info. We'll go take a look at the columns, and there you can see we have the 6 columns that we had in our Excel source data, as well as 4 columns that it automatically adds so that it can give us information about errors and also about the new account IDs. And now we'll execute. And we have success, and we'll stop debugging. And we'll take a quick look at the execution results, and here you can see that 6 rows were written, and that's the number of records we had in our Excel file. When I created the account records, I set up the owner of each of the accounts to be Ivan, and now I'm going to change them to be Diane. And again, this user, Diane, already exists in Salesforce, and I'm using the ID for that user. Here's the source data that I'm using to do the update, and here's the column with the owner IDs that represent the user named Diane, and this column represents the IDs of each of the accounts that are being updated. And I only left the name column in here for me, not for the component to use. So I've already set up the connection manager for Salesforce, again, in this package. So now we just drag the Salesforce Destination component onto our canvas, and we'll change the name to Update Owners of Accounts. And then we'll connect the green arrow to feed in the data from Excel. And now we'll go in and configure it. And we choose the connection manager for Salesforce. And now we go to Component Properties. And this time we'll change the action to Update. And our destination object, again, will be Account. And we'll go take a look at the column mappings. And it has mapped everything because the names match exactly. And we're done configuring that. Oops, actually I wanted to send our output to an Excel file again. So we'll go back in, go to Input and Output Properties. And we'll change this to Redirect Row. And now we're done configuring that, and we need to set up the Excel Destination Plus component to receive the output results from the update. So we'll change the name to Record Errors. And we connect the red arrow from Salesforce Destination. And here we just click OK. And we go back in. And choose the Excel Connection Manager and choose the worksheet where we want it to write the results of the operation, which is called Error Output. We'll go look at the columns. And all the columns are there. And it won't allow us to save because we have 2 different input columns mapped to the same output alias, which is ID. So I'm just going to get rid of one of them. And now it lets us save it. And now we're ready to execute. And we have success. So we stop debugging. Take a quick look at the execution results. And 6 rows were written. And here you can see that the owner of the accounts has been updated to Diane. In summary, I have shown you how easy it is to create and update objects in the Salesforce service using COZYROC's Salesforce Destination Component. This component comes in a package of tasks and components called SSIS Plus that complements the standard SSIS. And that concludes this demo.